Alright, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to be rebuilding the E36 injectors on my M3, and I call it rebuilding, but it's not really rebuilding. The truth of these injectors is that they're only like 50-60 bucks for a brand new one. So to have them fully really rebuilt, it's really not even worth it to send them in and get them fully rebuilt because they're just so cheap. You just honestly buy new ones. So if you're having solenoid issues, if you're having actual injector issues, like the injector is sticking, the solenoid is starting to go bad, it's really not worth it to get these things rebuilt. It's just go out and buy a new one. That being said, you can, quote, rebuild them, as in buy little rebuild packs, which is what we're going to be doing today. So this is what a rebuild pack looks like. So we have a new internal filter, we have a bunch of little O-rings for the upper and lowers, we have spacers and pintle caps. So this is going to, kind of refresh the injector, give it a better spray pattern and lighten up the performance or improve the performance of it. A lot of injector issues that you will have with these cars actually are not really performance injector issues, they're more of sealing. For instance, if the pintle caps will start to get clogged and they'll start to go bad, you'll have weakened spray pattern, which you won't have as good performance out of them. On top of that, I've seen these O-rings leak fuel, so if you're having that issue, this will fix that. And this will not like to seal sometimes, especially if these have never been rebuilt before, if they're 20 years old and you pull the manifold off or pull the fuel rail out. Sometimes you'll put them back in and they won't seal properly, and then you'll have vacuum leaks, you'll have lean codes, you'll have things like that. So if you have like a rough idle and you think it's the injectors, it could be these O-rings, not the actual injectors themselves. So if you're having issues like that, or if you're pulling the manifold doing an M50 swap or something like that and you want to refresh them, this is an excellent way to do that. If you're having actual solenoid issues with them, like circuit issues, just go out and buy injectors, buy new injectors. But these things are 20 years old. I pulled them out for the first time and we're going to rebuild them just to get them back up to par. So this one has already been rebuilt. I already rebuilt it, so we have the new pencil cap, O-ring spacer, rear O-ring, and then the little fuel filter on there. This whole pack, this one is for an S52. This was like 18 bucks. I think for the M50 cars, they're about $12 for when I did my M50 car. So the prices vary, so you're looking to spend maximum less than 20 bucks on getting these things back up to performance, back up to par. So this one has already been stripped down, got the filter out, got the pintle cap off, and we're ready to put new stuff on. This one, when I pulled it out of the fuel rail, the pintle cap just straight up fell off. It disintegrated when I pulled it out. So that's pretty common, so this is another way to fix that. So let's start with a fresh one here. So the first thing we need to do is get the filter out. And to do that, I have this little bolt right here. So this bolt came off the front cowl of my E36. So that bolt right there, we're just gonna use that guy, so being resourceful. So to get the filter out, we're going to screw this guy in. Something like that. You can get it a little bit deeper, that's more ideal, more grip on the filter. And I got a big freaking pair of channel locks. We're gonna stick the guy like that and pretty much just pull on the injector until it comes out. Now it does take quite a bit of force, so I'm not gonna be able to just sit here and pull on it, so I gotta take it out. But if you give it a good tug, it'll come out. So there's the filter out. There we go. Old filter is out. Now we did destroy it, but we are replacing it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take a pick. Get that guy off. And you can also take a pick and just kind of work around the old pintle cap. They do like to break apart, I will say. And be careful not to scratch it. And from there, we can just pull the O-ring and spacer off. I always like to give it a good wipe down. And there we go. We have a fully stripped injector. So to get the new filter in, slide it in there, and I'll take it and I'll push it against the table. And then it'll pop in. I always try and get it sitting flush with the end there. I'm gonna take a new O-ring, roll that guy around. Spacer on, new O-ring, and then our new pencil cap. Boom, there we go. Refreshed injector. So we're pretty much just going to go through and do this to all of them. This one already had the pencil cap come off, so we can take all that stuff off. There we go. I'm going to go roll that guy out. And these filters do take quite a bit of force to get out. They do not like to come out easily. And be careful when you're taking these panel caps off. I like to kind of drag it up, away, so you don't dig into the metal. But especially if these panel caps are old, they kind of become super frail. Yeah, so there's the new filter, there's the old filter. I can barely even see through the old one. I can see through the new one just fine. Sometimes these things will get clogged up too. And it won't be enough to cause the injector to stop working, but it'll just have reduced performance. there we are. That's all 6. And the kit has some leftovers. So I got 2 O-rings and a spacer left over. So I'm gonna assume that's in case, you know, you pull one of these things out and the O-ring pops off or something. But interesting they don't provide any extra pintle caps. You will notice, however, that there is a little space between the spacer, the O-ring, and the pintle cap, and that's normal. If you looked at your old ones beforehand and you noticed that gap wasn't there, that's because these old O-rings freaking swell up over time as they get used and they get hot and oil gets on them and fuel gets through them. They start to swell up. So there we go. All 6 injectors rebuilt, baby. So pretty cheap. I would recommend, if you're pulling out all your injectors, if you want just some refreshed performance out of them and a better spray pattern and keep your car running better. Super cheap. It's like 18 to 20 bucks for an M3, less if you have a non-M. So there you go. Pretty simple. Takes like 20 minutes to do them all. Good luck with your injector rebuilding if you choose to rebuild it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it fresh, and I'll see you guys later.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost.